We can't find a bipartisan way to do it, we're not going to say, well, if it's not bipartisan, we're not going to do it. We are going to do what we believe.
The Republicans are going to continue to stand on the principles that we were elected to advance. We're going to articulate those to the president today.
President Obama said he didn't think he'd usher in a new bipartisan era. Here's guessing he's right.
Yeah, he said he's going to work on that this year. He's got his work cut out for him. Top Line starts right now.
Hello and welcome to ABCNews.com's Top Line. I'm Rick Klein.
I'm Karen Travers.
Every day at noon Eastern Time, we're right here bringing you the latest headlines, analysis, insights on politics, everything you need to know before you head out that door to lunch. And it's twitter.com/thenote if the lunchtime fix just isn't enough for you. Karen, kick us off.
We'll kick it off today with the president heading to Baltimore, Charm City. The president is meeting with House Republicans up there today, and he's attempting to start that outreach and bipartisanship that we heard so much about in the State of the Union. But just judging by what Mike Pence said on GMA today, not going to be a really warm reception for the president up there in Baltimore.
Yeah, he's up there at this hour. It was interesting. They're opening up the Q&A portion to cameras, which I think changes the dynamics. You wouldn't be surprised to see a Republican or two try to make a name for themselves now that it's going to be televised. Maybe not the same kind of open and frank discussion you may get otherwise, but clearly the White House wants us to know that this outreach is genuine, at least for now.
And transparent.
And transparent. Well, we love transparency. C-SPAN will be all over it. Sales job. President Obama is bringing forward a jobs package. Do not call it a stimulus bill under any circumstances. Today, it is going to package together a good number of tax breaks and tax cuts. Not a lot of new spending, however. This is the kind of jobs package that seems designed to draw Republican votes. And in fact, Democrats are already saying it may not be sufficient in terms of new spending. The House did something a lot more ambitious than President Obama is talking about now. But it seems part of this strategy to say, okay, we're going to put something forward that really Republicans should by all rights support.
And this is definitely going to be the number one priority. The president made that clear on Wednesday night and yesterday in Tampa. We talked to a lot of people down there in Tampa, and they said, you know, that just means healthcare is going to be on the back burner, and it's going to be something interesting to watch over the next couple weeks.
Indeed, that's right.
Also, trials and tribulations. The White House has ordered the Justice Department to look into other locations for the trial of terror suspect Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. That was supposed to be in Lower Manhattan. They really wanted the symbolism of having that trial right there where the Twin Towers went down. It's going to be really difficult. Mayor Bloomberg and other politicians say it's going to cost hundreds of millions of dollars for security to do it there. It could last over a year. It's not going to happen there.
The problem is the New York political leaders, including a lot of White House allies, didn't like the symbolism at all. They wanted the exact opposite. The politics of this is the White House blinking. And clearly they've got to get some kind of a backup plan. It looks less and less likely like this can happen. And they've got fewer and fewer friends to make it happen. But obviously much more important will be the end result of this trial. And that's what we'll be focused on in the end. And trouble in paradise. You thought it was all fun and games for Republicans in Hawaii. They have their differences, though, and they are on full display right now at the RNC winter meeting. Chairman Michael Steele on the hot seat. We'll be checking in with our intrepid Top Line co-host David Chalian later in the program, live from Honolulu, Karen. But big problems for the Republicans. You know, they may be a little bit happier on Capitol Hill than they are beyond that.
Yes, definitely. And of course, the president is talking so much this week about reaching out to Republicans, and the healthcare agenda seems to be put a little bit aside right now. We're really talking about jobs, so we're going to bring in our guest, Darcy Berner, here to talk about healthcare.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Darcy, thanks for being here. And before we talk about it, you run a website, progressivecongress.org. You're trying to urge the Democratic Party and the Democratic White House onto the left. I'm interested in your take on this. This is right out of the State of the Union address. The first big push and the first big meeting is President Obama meeting with Republicans. One commenter on Twitter today, I asked what liberals think of this, and he said he's banging our collective head against the wall in an effort to cure our headache. Is this just, you know, making it pound even more, the fact that he's reaching out to Republicans out of the box?
Well, I think it's perfectly fine and appropriate for the president to be reaching out to Republicans. What he shouldn't do is count on them ever supporting any piece of the agenda that might actually help the American people.
Then why do it?
They've made it clear. There is There's an important message to the American people that the Democrats are actually trying to get the business of this country done, and the Republicans are blocking it, and he needs to demonstrate that, which I think he has and they have repeatedly.
But I think if you look at the last year, there's going to be complaints from the left saying we spent 12 months reaching out to Republicans. We tried to bring in moderate Republicans. We worked. We haven't gotten anything done. Why are we trying to do this again? Why don't we just go this alone?
Well, him spending a day in Baltimore is not that big a deal. If he said we were going to delay health care until we had, 15 Republican co-sponsors, I would be jumping up and down and screaming. But spending a day in Baltimore talking to them, totally fine.
But healthcare is clearly delayed here. I mean, it is a back burner issue. I don't know how to put it exactly. It's not on the agenda all of a sudden. Harry Reid is saying there's no rush whatsoever. The White House, look, if there was going to be a path forward, we would have heard it, I think, on Wednesday night. What do you think? I mean, do Democrats need to take a different message out of this and kind of redouble the efforts?
I think that there is a path forward, and Democrats, at least on the House side, are redoubling efforts to try to make sure that this passes. The problem at the moment is figuring out how to convince